Greetings, Explorer families. This is Mr. Ike, the Executive Director of our Westlake Charter School. Families, there is so much jam-packed in the Westlake Weekly this week. We thought we'd shoot a quick little video to give you some of the highlights. And so today's agenda for this video is, let's talk about the launch of the school year and how we hold on to some of our traditions. How do we reopen school in distance learning? What does that look like? What child care options are available? Now, there's still lots in the Westlake Weekly to read, so make sure you dive in there and check it out tonight. Now, the launch of the school year this year is really important because every year we just jam-pack the calendar with so many incredible community events. We don't want to lose out on those events. Now, we know we can't do the back-to-school barbecue, but what can we do while we open in level 1 distance learning? Well, we're going to kick off the year with the August 10th Parent Coffee Talk. Is live via YouTube and interactive. We have the distribution of learning kits, so save the date on the 10th and 11th. You'll read more about that, where we give out distance learning kits that include one of our traditions, which is your Spirit shirt. Your child will get their Westlake Charter School Explorer Spirit t-shirt in their first distance learning kit distribution. And again, you'll read more about that, but inside that distribution kit, there should be learning materials that help every student engage in distance learning, not just digitally, but with some physical manipulatives that help us all learn and practice. We have our Meet the Teacher, which is so important, getting to know our teacher and the way our teacher wants us to engage in learning and really doing that before school starts. We love this tradition. Now, it's going to be digital this year, but we're still going to be holding it. That's on the 10th and the 11th. Now, we have 6th grade orientation led by our amazing middle school web leaders. So proud of them. It's going to be a fantastic event. The first day of school, which is the big event, is on August 12th. And then back to school night is on August 26th. So, hey, we have a strange school year opening, but we're not giving up on the opportunity to bring our community together and all these amazing opening of the school year community events. We know that there are 5 levels to reopening school: distance learning, orientation, our baseline schedule, which is the AB model, increased capacity, where we hope everybody's back on campus, every single day, and then full capacity when a vaccine is finally circulating through our community. Now, we are opening in distance learning. If you hadn't heard that yet, I hope that's not too surprising. Here we go. We're opening up in distance learning. But distance learning is going to look different than it did in the spring, and partly it's because of some really fascinating guidelines from the state of California. Now, we've taken these guidelines and not made them our target. We've made them our baseline, and we're going to be building off of them. You'll see that in the next slide, but we're going to have daily live interaction with our peers and our staff. We got to make sure we have adequate devices and connectivity. Last week, big celebration. We distributed over 125 Chromebooks on top of the 300 that we delivered in spring. So families who need a device at home, we are making sure they get connected. And that information is in the Westlake Weekly each week. Our learning has to be equivalent to that which happens in class. So we are moving through grade level standards. This isn't review time. We will be cognizant of learning loss, but we are moving through standards. It should feel like a regular year of school. We shall be growing through our weekly learning targets with our teacher and with our peers. There have to be academic supports for that, and that means that our regular multi-tiered systems of supports, our students with individualized education plans, 504s, SSTs, and all the personalized learning that we do at Westlake still has to stay intact even though we're in distance learning. And then this next part's really interesting because a lot of people are like, gosh, school feels so weird if you don't have some type of grading, accountability, documentation, and I get that. So this is a big part of this year. We are moving through the standards. We will be issuing grades. We will be giving feedback. We will be grading assignments as they come in. And another part of that is this daily engagement piece means we'll be taking daily attendance. So, in the spring, students are like, hey, I slept until noon and I got up and did a couple hours of distance learning. We have to collaborate as families in school to train our students. This year, for distance learning, they need to get up on time, comb their hair, brush their teeth, and be in attendance for their morning meeting or their advisory meeting first thing in the morning, and that will launch the school day. Now, on that, there were some families who were very thankful that we pre-recorded a lot of the information in spring so that there was flexibility in the day. We will still commit to that type of flexibility. Yes, there's lots of live interactivity built into our day, but we're also committing to recording content so that those students, for whatever reason, that can't get to live instruction, while they will be marked absent, we'll be working with those families to make sure those students are still getting instruction, because learning goals is our most important factor and feature of distance learning. Okay, let's dive in. We took a look at the California Department of Education's guidelines, and we kind of put them in Westlake blue and put them in our return to school handbook for families. So you can see this page in our handbook tonight. Now we took those guidelines and we turned them into Westlake guidelines. They fit all on one page for the California Department of Education, but they take like 6 pages for our Westlake. So we really expanded them and really started to decide how we can facilitate learning, not just meeting the base of the guideline, but really growing off in there. So I think you'll be able to read through the handbook tonight and see how we plan distance learning to be a magical opportunity and experience for all of our students to grow. And I love this page in the distance learning, not the distance learning, the return to school handbook. Go take a look at this. It's a day in the life of an elementary school student, and it's written in first person. So it says, I go to morning meeting and I get live instruction. And you read through that, you get this real understanding of what it might look like to be a student engaged in this type of learning. So the day in the life includes things like live morning meeting, getting up in the morning, meeting with my classmates all on screen, going through culture building activities and support activities so we get to know our teacher and know our peers and know what's expected in class. I love this piece. It's definitely a social emotional learning piece. It's kindergarten through 8th grade at Westlake Charter School. But also right after that, right, you leave morning meeting and do what we always do, which is dive into instruction. That instruction can be live. It could have an asynchronous or pre-recorded component as well. But that instruction starts right away. So there's no sleeping in. We get up, we get to morning meeting, and we get to learning right away at Westlake Charter School. Typically, instruction is followed up by opportunities to practice and collaborate. And so we're going to have these opportunities built in. And we want to ensure everybody that it isn't just digital practice, but physical opportunities to use manipulatives or to use pen and paper and all types of materials. And that's when those distance learning kits come in. We're going to be sending these distance learning kits home periodically depending on the grade level. So they'll have the items inside them that your student will need to practice their learning as if they were at school. And we think that's a really important part. This hands-on school piece is so important because it can't all be done on a screen. Now I know the 8th graders they're amazing at being on the screen. But our younger students especially need those manipulatives, and we're going to be sending those home. I think you're going to love that piece from Westlake Charter School. After I've done some independent practice or some practice time, it's important for the teacher to regroup our students into small groups and say, hey, did you get the instruction? Did you understand? What did you struggle with? This is how we do every day at Westlake, and we're not going to stop doing what we do just because we're in distance learning. So it's important that we're able to pull small groups. It doesn't just have to be the teacher. Our instructional assistants can pull small groups. In fact, you'll even see in the day in the life, some students will say, hey, during lunch today, I had a lunch bunch with the school psychologist, the school counselor, or one of our instructional assistants, or maybe our student dean. We're going to be pulling small groups of kids to say, hey, would you like to meet with some friends for lunch? Hey, during recess, would you like to meet? We have these opportunities built throughout the day with these live interactions with peers and with staff, because we believe this interactivity is so important. And so again, this is a part of the day, student collaboration through small group and book clubs and all kinds of interesting methods for collaboration. And this last piece is about feedback. Students will receive feedback all day as we go through the day, but also their feedback is going to be delivered every single day in a consistent way, or every single week in a consistent way, so that families can see the written feedback that students are getting and really track that students are making progress on their learning goals. And so I'm really excited about some of the pieces that are coming together. I'm always so proud to be a part of Westlake Charter School. It's an amazing school. I genuinely am proud. But I have to tell you that this summer, over 30 teachers have spent weekly time building what is possible in a distance learning world, and I couldn't be more proud than I am today. This has been an amazing summer because our staff has pulled together and said, okay, given the circumstances and the realities, what do we need to do to make learning amazing at Westlake Charter School. So I think you're going to be very proud of the work our teachers have done this summer to prepare for the launch of this fall. And if we collaborate and work together and tell our students this isn't the old distance learning from spring, which I think our teachers did an amazing job. This is all new. This is a day in the life is going to look different. So look at the handbook. Talk with your student about, hey, we need to get to bed on time, wake up on time, and jump into our distance learning starting on August 12th. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. If some of us have to go off to work, where are our children going to be during the day? And so I'm so proud that so many people are willing to collaborate on this piece. And we're putting together as many options as we can. So here's two options here. Option number one is our WAVE Parent Cooperative. They're putting together this co-op where you can add your name to a sheet and it'll show you your classmates who have also added themselves, and we can collaborate on child care and building these little learning cooperatives, these distance learning cooperatives. I love this piece. All you have to do is add your student's name. So jump on the little form, add your student's name, and then the WAVE team will add you to the sheet. Then you'll add your contact information. Then you'll be able to select Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What days are you able to host a little learning cooperative at your house? And what days do you need a learning cooperative for your student? Well, if I take Monday and you take Tuesday and he takes Wednesday, I'll take Thursday, you take Friday. Now our three students have a place to be, and since they're in the same classroom, they'll be working on distance learning together. Now, of course, we'll hope everyone is doing social distancing, maybe working outdoors, wearing masks, washing hands regularly. We love this idea, though, that we're able to collaborate around this. And what I really love about Westlake is it's not just give one, take one. It's not, well, I will do it if you'll also do it. It's okay if somebody signs up on this and says, I'm an essential worker. I can't host a collaborative. I'll bring lunch every day for everybody, but I can't host a collaborative. Well, maybe you can host a collaborative every day, and other people will come to your collaborative, and that's a fantastic collaboration for our families. And so very proud that this work is coming together and that it's launched. I know our WAVE team has built some Facebook groups where people can cooperate and collaborate around this. It's really fantastic. Look at tonight's Westlake Weekly, and you'll see more information on this. The second option that's coming together is that our base team has put together distance learning camps as a model. So what they've done is they've developed grade level camps, K through 5. They're weekly camps. They have a location on campus. They can hold up 12 students in a camp, and they have a 6-8 combined camp. What this allows us to do is have an 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. distance learning day where our staff will facilitate the distance learning of your students if you drop them off at these base distance learning camps. So our base staff will be, in the room, making sure everybody gets what they need as they work through distance learning. It'll be really focused on distance learning, but they'll also take care of recess and lunch during the day. And the program has limitations. We only have 12 base employees. You can only have so many camps. So we need to know who's interested in coming to these camps. And so seats are limited, but there's some requirements of a weekly pre-registration because that's going to reduce cohort mixing. We don't want somebody showing up on Tuesday and somebody different showing up on Wednesday. We want to isolate cohorts to the best of our ability, and so we're creating this program with a pre-registration program. Our regular base fees apply, $7.50 an hour, which works out to $225 a week. We know that's hard for some families, so there are full and partial scholarships available based on families with financial need and based on the number of siblings in a household. And so we want to work with families, so please don't be discouraged by the amount of money. If that's not something you're able to do, please reach out anyway and see if we can get you to be a part of this base camp so that your student can have facilitated distance learning, a safe place to be, and we'll look for one of those full or partial scholarships for your family. So okay, I know that's a lot of fast talking. I wanted to talk through what does it look like to launch the school year and what does distance learning 3.0, our latest model of distance learning look like, and what childcare options are out there. Please Make sure you reach out to admin@westlakecharter.com with any questions, thoughts, or concerns. We'll take those questions. We'll add them to our FAQ, frequently asked questions page on our new Return to School website. And please stay informed. Help us make this the best model in America so that we can all work together and have a wonderful school year. Thank you, families, for all that you do. And as always, let's explore.